that despite failing this clearance, the appointment of Peter Mandelson as our ambassador went ahead. So let's bring straight into the conversation Darren Jones. Mr. Jones is Chief Secretary of the Prime Minister, Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster. Grateful for your time. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Can I ask you, when the Prime Minister said at a press conference concerning the vetting, quotes, vetting carried out independently by the security services, which is an intensive exercise that gave him, Mandelson, clearance for the role, was he lying or being utterly incompetent?
Good morning, Nick. What the Prime Minister was referring to was the process that allowed the Foreign Office to overrule the recommendation put to them by UK security vetting to appoint Peter Mandelson as ambassador to the United States. When I found out about this yesterday afternoon, I was out in Southampton campaigning with colleagues for the local elections when the Guardian story broke. I immediately came back to London, and what became very clear to me was this was not just an individual case in relation to Peter Mandelson, but the very fact that the Foreign Office and a small number of other organisations have the right to overrule a recommendation from UK security vetting not to appoint someone to a sensitive post because of security concerns is quite frankly astonishing. So I took the immediate decision last night to suspend the right for all of those organisations, including the Foreign Office, to do so, and I've commissioned an urgent review to understand how often this behaviour has taken place across government.
So who overrode the vetting system, Mr. Jones?
The Foreign Office had the right to overrule the recommendation put to it by UK security vetting not to appoint Peter Mandelson as ambassador. When the Foreign Office chose to overrule that advice, DV clearance, the vetting clearance had been cleared, and Peter Mandelson was allowed to be appointed to the role.
And you're asking the nation to believe all this went on blissful ignorance from the Prime Minister?
So the Prime Minister was not told about this until Tuesday evening this week. So I only found out about myself personally yesterday afternoon. But again, the fact that the process existed in the first place and that it did not require a department to notify ministers, or indeed Number 10, that they had overruled the recommendation of UK security vetting is, as I say, it's astonishing. It's completely unacceptable.
Having learnt on Tuesday, why has it effectively been forced out of him by the Guardian newspaper?
So the Prime Minister was told on Tuesday evening,
yes,
and he then immediately asked the Cabinet Secretary to provide to him the full facts about what happened when and who took what decision, so that the Prime Minister could update the House of Commons with that information.
No, but I ask you, why did he wait? Why a delay of almost 48 hours?
Because the information had not yet been fully assembled for him to be able to go to the House of Commons to make that statement. As you know, he's going to be giving a statement to the House of Commons on Monday.
Why Monday? A matter of this gravity. Why does it take until Monday, Mr. Jones?
Purely because Parliament is not sitting